Hey guys, welcome to another Trade Genius podcast. Got my good friend Bob Kudla here, and we are going to discuss the high-flying Bitcoin stocks, Bitcoin itself, what's going on, where's it going. We're going to talk all about it in this video. Let's dive in.
Trade Genius.
All right, Bob. Seems like a very Bitcoin-dominated move. Altcoins aren't really playing along, but Bitcoin and its proxies are just flying higher. And I think it's one of those moves where if you don't understand what Bitcoin's capable of doing, it's going to just, you'll be deer in the headlights watching this thing do what it's going to do over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and two things, guys. Hey, look, we've not been consistently every day. We've just been so busy. The trading's been manic, and we're just exhausted. So it'll probably be that way for the next couple of weeks. So just bear with us. We'll get as many podcasts out as we can. But to the point you're making, Phil, is that, I think Bitcoin 100,000 is coming. I want to show you a chart, a Bitcoin chart first. Can you throw the Bitcoin chart up there first, Phil? Because that was really interesting. I'll just show you that we're not pulling this stuff out of our rear end. Is that when Bitcoin was down there breaking above 49,000, it created an environment where we had an ABC move. I posted this earlier a couple weeks ago in our room, and I said, look, 94.3, 94.5 is going to hit based on the math. Phil came up with very similar numbers using a different technique. And so when he and I come at numbers and we don't coordinate each other, that's a high probability it's going to happen. We hit it. So now what's the next step? The next step, and for me, is we created an inverted head and shoulders now out of this move. And so that's going to take us to, I think, 119,000. Phil has a chart. He's not going to show it today. Maybe we'll show it later in the week. That's basically, there's a fractal that we've been following from 2017 that could take us to 130. And then there's another ABC pattern that could take us up to 170. So there's a lot of things happening here. Now, for people that can't trade Bitcoin, don't want to trade Bitcoin, don't want to open a Bitcoin account, there's proxies. We've been trading MicroStrategy. It's starting to get really expensive for retail, but now I've switched over to Coinbase because Coinbase has been lagging MicroStrategy. So I want to throw that up in the room. And I keep looking to the side here. It's not that I'm worried about the police. I'm looking at my other chart because Coinbase is ripping into the close here. And this is on Wednesday. So I'm keeping an eye on a trade because I'm long 500 shares right now. And it's been just absolutely insanely profitable for us to trade these moves, and we're trading these things on low time frames too. But this Coinbase thing here, and we have two charts, one zeroes in. I just want to show you when Coinbase came out, and Phil, you have to read the numbers because they're too small for me. When Coinbase came out, I think it was 400 and whatever the number was over there on the left-hand side. That we're taking all the way back here to. Do I have to bring the chart up myself here?
Yeah, actually, I don't have. I know that it debuted at over $400 and then quickly sold down.
Yeah, here we go. I have it here. So sorry, guys. $423.25. Okay. So the fib line below that, I took that fib from that when it opened all the way down to the low that it did down at $30 some. And then if you take a fib back up to right now, 330.80, we hit that today. We broke through it. So it brings the 423.25 back into play, Phil. And that's just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And we think we're going to get it because MicroStrategy, I was saying, I think we top out at 400 MicroStrategy, and it turned right around, and that was like butter, and it went to 499. I don't know where it is now into the close, but it got to 499 today, and we think probably the way this thing's moving, we'll probably see MicroStrategy $1,200 or $1,300. The way it's leveraged to Bitcoin right now is insane. You're talking 3 to 5x to every percentage move in Bitcoin to the percentage move in the market cap of MicroStrategy. So big times are happening here. Coinbase 423, and the next extended move is 515. And Phil said we can't discount 1,000. So we don't have to show we can throw the next chart up here. I just exploded it, Phil, and it just shows you where I think the next target is on Coinbase. So you could trade it a number of different ways. You can buy some calls, you can own some shares. Just size it right. I think once we get to these levels, Bitcoin is going to get a little violent when we get over 100,000. I think, and we'll start seeing some really big moves both ways. And I think that's where you have to really pay attention. But guys, come trade with TradeLikeAGenius.com. Exciting times. We love the volatility. We love the move here. These are altering moves that you're going to get. And I think they're going to be in play into the into the inauguration. And after that, there's going to be some good short-sided trades as well. And we're going to be on top of it. Holly, we're having the Black Friday specials right now. You don't get anything nearly the same price the rest of the year. And in fact, we're going to be bumping prices in 2025. Our first price increase since we started the company. And we want to you guys to take advantage of the discounts we're throwing at you. You're not going to regret it. Thanks for listening. And Phil, I'll throw it to you if you have any final comments.
Yeah, I just think, the moves here are going to be pretty explosive. I could actually show a couple of charts here just to close things out. If you look at, you talked about coin, right? What I've been noticing, and this happens with MSTR too, is we're in these big multi-week head and shoulders patterns, right? So, you measure the head and you extend the head from the neckline. That's kind of your target. I mean, that projects $3,300 for coin. Now, will it get there? Well, I'll put it to you this way. When the Bitcoin ecosystem gets going, it really gets going. You guys, if you were around, and if you weren't around, I'll just tell you, in 2017, September, October, I think we were trading between $3,000 and $4,000 Bitcoin. At no time did we think within the next 8 to 10 weeks we would be hitting 20K, and that's exactly what we did. So Bitcoin can go very parabolic, and with the nature of things that are leveraged and option flows and just the amount of liquidity that we have in the system now, because this is the tail end of this whole bubble, these moves can actually occur. MSTR is very similar. If you look at the MSTR chart, we have a similar situation where that formation, right, we have the head and shoulders here, right, and we're breaking now out of this a sloping neckline. So if you take that same measurement, right, you measure real quick down here to, let's just say we get about to there, and then let's just transpose that up here. That's up here at the 2150 for MSTR. And look how fast it's already climbing through that measured move. It's almost halfway through that measured move. So you can't tell me this isn't possible. It's happening before your eyes. And then Bitcoin too, I'll go back to the Bitcoin chart really quickly. This here is what Bob was talking about. We have this move. It's kind of like part of the pattern that plays out at this point in the cycle. This is a weekly chart, and this has us topping out into January, which would be that inauguration timeframe. But we're clipping along this pattern here, on a weekly chart, exactly as we should be. And the most explosive part of this move is right before us now. People are clamoring about 100K. I get it. It's a big deal. It's a big round number. I actually think that that's not really where we're probably going to be tagging. I think it's going to be this upper line here, which is 119, call it 120K by the time we hit it. I think that's really the story up there, and probably poke past it. But 100K is going to be like, pop the balloons and all that stuff. And maybe we kind of jiggle around there for a little bit. Maybe there's a little pullback there, but I think ultimately we're going to get right through that level. There's a lot of, if you look at those sell walls on the exchanges, there's a lot of sell walls right there, but those guys can pull those, right? And we've seen that a lot on this move up, big walls, and they all pull them because they don't technically want to be filled there. It's more acting like a magnet to drop price into it. So if those walls get pulled, I expect a move to accelerate and getting up to 120 or north of 120 to finish this part of the move off is probably realistic. And then the fractal here would be like a kind of a quick but violent pullback. It could be $15,000, and then one final move up into the inauguration with some, our measured move was 173 based on the size of the bear market, extending that out to the 618. So that's what this is transposed here on the chart. And it could be exactly like this, very short-lived, very sharp, and then a very sharp sell-off. And this is where all these plays like MSTR and all these convertible bond offerings start to get upside down in terms of value and what people are expecting. And just as quickly as this stuff goes up, it can come right back down. So enjoy the pump. I think it's going to go very high and probably higher than most people are anticipating, but I don't think it's going to last very long. And that's the part that you got to get right.
Yeah, you have to really pay attention day by day here. This is a move here where you're going to make life altering money, but you're going to have to know when to start scaling out of these trades and not get too greedy. If you can make 60% of this move or 70% of this move, consider it all good. You'll make years worth of money in the next 6 weeks. And we're already seeing it. We're making years worth of money since the week before the election. So it's absolutely insane right now. And it's going to get more insane because Trump keeps talking about doing more and more things with crypto. And people are just really, really excited right now. And this is when you take advantage of that excitement. And then going into February, we'll be back to a boring market again, I think.
Yep.
But with that, guys, thanks for listening. We got to get back to the market before it closes. We'll try to be back with you guys tomorrow.
See you later.
Trade Genius.